Hey everyone, welcome back to the 3-Minute Story Challenge. This is week 6, teachers this week, and I'm just so excited to have one of my favorite teachers on the show, James Justus. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you, Jason?
Good, good. It's just so great to see your face and hear your voice. James and I have known each other for, oh my gosh, you probably met me when I was 6 or 7 years old. Does that sound right?
I think so. Yep, a little rambunctious toddler just running around the martial arts studio.
Yep. I mean, not much has changed. I mean, I'm not necessarily a toddler size-wise, but emotionally sometimes still am. And James, you are just an amazing teacher. I mean, so you taught Taekwondo for 14 years.
Yep.
One of my instructors, that's how we met. And you're also right now you're in, I think you told me your 11th year of teaching in Cherry Creek.
That's correct.
You teach STEM.
Yes.
As Paris wants to join the party. So I'm so excited to connect with you, and I want to hear your story. So I got my timer here.
All right.
And I'm going to set it. And if I can do it. Okay. Your 3-minute story challenge starts now.
Perfect. So, Jason, as you said, my teaching story actually starts back in 1995. I was 13 years old. I was training Taekwondo martial arts with your father. And I was getting ready to test for my black belt, my first degree black belt. And your father invited me into the class before mine to help start teaching. And from that moment forward, it became a passion, just right there. And like you said, I did teach martial arts for 14 years, eventually becoming the lead instructor of the martial arts school that we both trained at. And it was in that time that something really struck a chord with me about teaching. So during that time, it was really great because we got to learn how to be not only martial artists, but teachers too. I mean, truly teachers. And we went to a lot of seminars together. I remember fondly one trip me and your dad took to go train with Tom Callis and do the Ultimate Black Belt Challenge. And that was just such a fond memory. But I remember one time sitting down with your dad and hearing something that kind of has stuck with me throughout all my years of education. And it's a simple phrase, but I always go back to it whenever I'm teaching. And the phrase is, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And to me, what that speaks to is you could have all the knowledge in the world. You could be the best instructor. You could have the best presence in front of a class, in front of a group of people, but if you're not connecting with them and you're not emotionally connected with them, you're not showing how much you care about them, they could care less. And in my first year in education, I remember that being like resounding because I taught 3rd grade my first year and I was great. Math, I was awesome. Reading, I was awesome. But some of these kids were just like checked out. And so in my 2nd year of teaching, I really shifted my educational philosophy to putting my students' emotional needs first and their educational needs second. And it changed the way I teach. I was sitting down to lunch with my students. I was getting to know them on a personal level. I was getting them to know me on a personal level, and it was just the transformation I saw in myself and my students has just been incredible. And one other thing that I've thought about as I think about the story that I want to tell is that I'm a professional educator. I've been, like you said, in Cherry Creek schools for 11 years, been teaching for 25. I mean, technically, if you include my martial arts. And truly, to me, one of the things that makes a difference between a good teacher and a great teacher is that caring piece, right? It's not about the knowledge in your head. It's about you caring about your students, you being able to connect with your students. And so, my story is just really about my educational philosophy in general. Is about, one more time, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's kind of my story about education.
Boom. Right on time, man. That's how it's done.
Hey.
Yeah. Thank you first and foremost for sharing that. And as you were kind of sharing that, I was having visual flashbacks to all the times that you were my teacher. And I always felt that you cared. And you always took an interest in me. And we were all so close and so tight at FMAC at my dad's school. I think because we all cared about each other, and not just as friends, but as students of Taekwondo, as students of life. So it's just so inspiring, and I'm so happy that you're able to reach an even wider audience now with all the teaching that you do, because I certainly felt that. I certainly felt that when you were my teacher. So
Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's time for your shameless plug. What do you got?
So my shameless plug isn't necessarily about me personally. I'm just going to make a shameless plug about education in general, because unfortunately in today's day and age, I feel like sometimes the only time you hear about education is when something bad happens in education, or there's a budget deficit or something. But public education is just amazing. Being in the public education realm for almost 12 years now really has given me, like, this is our future in America. This is our future in our world. And sometimes I feel like people are a little short-sighted. And so my shameless plug is, like, go education, go public education. Next time it comes up on the ballot, vote for it, fund it. Do what you can to get more money into public education, because truly that's going to be what changes the world.
I mean, it's fantastic. And I want to say too, before we hop off here, James, how really grateful I am for you. And I was thinking about, how I want to have you on the show. And I was getting emotional thinking about it, because you mean so much to me. And I want to just thank you on behalf of so many people that you've made an impact on. And there's one moment, I mean, we have so many memories together.
Yep.
But there's one kind of recent that sticks out in my mind. And, last year was tough. You lost your father. And he was your best friend. And my dad's my best friend.
Yep.
And I watched you at your father's service stand up there and speak and give a eulogy. And what struck me is, as a kid, I wanted to be like you. It was like, if I can be like James one day, I want to be a superhero. I want to be like Justus. But what struck me at that moment last year at your dad's service, that I was like, well, nothing's changed. I still want to be like James, because I watched you be up there with so much strength and courage. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I want to be the type of man that he is. I want to be the type of father that he is, and the type of husband that he is, the type of son that he is. So I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for that and how you've inspired me. And I got nothing but love for you, brother.
Oh, thanks. That was one of the hardest things I've had to do. And, I really appreciate you and your dad being there too, because you guys, I mean, like you said, I've known you since you were 6, and you guys mean the world to me too. So
Well,
I'm glad you guys could be there.
Thank you.
Thanks for breaking it down for me, Jay.
I know, same here. I'm sorry. You're such a strong man, and, I love you so much, and please give my best to the kids,
Yep.
and Paige, and I look forward, when this is all over, maybe we can watch some football together. Hopefully the Packers and Broncos they played last year, so it's going to be a few years before they play again.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're good. But thank you for everything, and thanks for being you, James.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Jason. Thanks for making me a part of this. I was happy to do it.
Thank you. It's an honor. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. See ya.